This program is designed so that anybody can jump in and use it. Doesn't matter if you've been training for a whole long time or you've never trained at all or anything like that. You should be able to pick up a kettlebell, learn some skills. That's what the whole breakdown on the belt system is for, is just to teach skills. This section is getting actual workouts to use those skills. So I'm starting off this first one as just an A and a B. So just 2 exercises or 2 workouts, 2 days, whatever the fuck you want to say, basically, and you just go back and forth between those. They're relatively full body. We're going to be doing A is going to be hinge and pull, right? So think posterior chain, hamstrings, glutes, lats, that's what we're working for. So hinging here, working all of this, pulling here, working all of this. And then we're gonna have day B, which is gonna be your squat and push day. So think anterior chain. We're working our quads, we're working our pecs, we're working our shoulders, all those good things from there. Over time, that'll change kind of in that we will change out the exercises that you're using in there. But the workouts don't really change all that much. I'm gonna have a bunch of different ones where we're changing different tempos. Some will be like EMOMs, every minute on the minute. Some will be AMRAPs, as many rounds as you can do in a certain amount of time. A bunch of different shit like that. Variables will change. But the actual exercises only change when you have grown in your skill. So in day 1, I'm gonna be demonstrating the absolute beginner variation of our hinge and row. And it's going to be that good morning. So that first hinge I teach you where you're holding the kettlebell here, like this, and hinging here, boom. And then we'll be doing the day 1 row, which I don't have a box with me right now, but my knee and my hand would be on the box and I'm rowing. And that is the absolute beginner variation of those 2 things. You could, however, and you'll see this when I do the live one that's coming up later this week, the next time I post an A workout, you'll see that there's a bunch of different levels inside of that. And that's what the whole belt system course is about. Teaching all the different ways that you can progress that hinge or that squat or that row or that press or that whatever, right? So as you're learning your different skills, plug them in. You're feeling really good with your hinge. It's feeling really, really good. Now you're ready to start using some swings. That's feeling really, really good. Now you can move on in a bunch of different ways. You could move on to offsetting swings where you're focusing on one leg. You could move on to 2 bells for your swings. You can move on to a sport style swing if that's the direction you decide to go. You can move on to snatches or cleans or blah, 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 blah. Tons of different shit you could do. Squat, same thing. Push, same thing. There's lots of different ways to progress these things, right? By adding different rotations, adding pushes from the leg for like overhead pressing, all this stuff. And that's the variation that I'm really trying to push you to. Your workouts don't really have to change a whole hell of a lot. You could have a very simple workout that goes on for fucking ever. But as you get more skilled, as your mobility gets better, all these things change, you can go to a harder and harder exercise and continue to get stronger. But in a way that I think kind of makes the most sense instead of just constant weight on a bar, right? If you wanted to power lift, or something like that, this is the wrong program for you. I'm not gonna push you to use, a 200-pound kettlebell for a swing. That doesn't make sense to me. But biasing more weight onto one leg or being able to throw it hard enough to get it overhead or something like that, that's what really interests me. And that's what I'll be leading you towards along the next, call it 5 years. I think a relatively athletic human being coming in who just really doesn't know kettlebells and is getting in would take something like 5 years to go through all the way to red belt. If you're not very athletic, you're just kind of working out for the first time, it might take you a little more. It really just depends how often you're training and whether you're really following the program, or if you try to push it too much, you're gonna backfire a little bit. So take your time, do what's realistic for you. I would love to see 4 workouts a week. That would be ideal. A, B, A, B. And then just continuing to work through this. My intention is to have 4 different ones. So where we're changing tempo, we're changing pace, we're changing rest options, like those different things. So you could go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you can change weights too. You can have a little bit heavier day and a little bit lighter day, heavier day, lighter day, heavier day, lighter day. Those are easy variables that you can change out to keep it more interesting and to make sure you're creating a full experience for your body, let's call it, right? Where you're hitting everything. You know, with a lighter weight, you could go a little faster, you can get a more cardio workout, a little bit heavier weight, you can build a little more strength, a little muscle, that type of stuff. But you could do all of those things kind of inside of one program. Now, if there's something specific you want, like you really wish we were doing a little more strength in this, that's totally cool. Use the reps or even take them down a little bit and get a much heavier kettlebell and go through that. That's fine. Just make sure that you're using an appropriate workout, an appropriate weight, and being safe. Because I'm not there to watch you. I don't know if you're doing this shit safely. So make sure you are taking care of yourself, not moving too fast through the different exercises, not adding too much weight, not doing stuff that you can't handle. And that's it. Along the way, send me your fucking questions and I can make videos, I can adjust things, I can speak to you directly, all that good stuff. Anyway, that's what I got.